Unleash. So we have Sherrie who's going to be joining us. Hi Sherrie, and tell us about yourself.
Hi. Yeah, so I mean, like you said, I am a brand photographer, and
I think that it is so important and overlooked, the significance of having a professional photograph or your entire
I do a lot of networking. So I go to networking events, I talk to people. I think I'm the kind of person, I'm clearly very set in my brand. So you either look at that and you talk to me and you go, she's great, or you go, she's absolutely not my cup.
Sherrie, I really would want to know a little bit more about
when you're 50 and you look back at your photos that you took when you're 30, we might not be feeling like our absolute top peak now.
Hello everyone, and I am super excited to have a very special guest today at Unleash. So we have Sherrie. Hi Sherrie, she's a brand photographer, and my very special guest Joy, who's going to be joining us, the very much gut health expert. And so we're going to be exploring so many different ways to understand how photography and personal portfolios of having everyone made bespoke, customized of today is so important. So hi Sherrie, and tell us about yourself.
Hi. Yeah, so I mean, like you said, I am a brand photographer, and it's funny being based between the UK and Dubai. There's a different understanding of what that means exactly. So what I tend to say is that as a brand photographer, my job is to help predominantly but not exclusively women who have their own business to get visible and to show up and to have their faces be out there in the world, so that people can get to know them, like them and trust them, and then ultimately want to buy from their business. That happens through a lot of different things. It's not, sometimes it can be you just book a space, I turn up and take your photos. A lot of the work that I do though is really helping people get to understand their audience, their ideal client, who they want to speak to, and then how they can create images and tell visual stories that actually attract those people, because that's the important bit, right?
Amazing. Yeah.
And so you said that you lived in Dubai for a while. Did you start your photography business here?
No, so I actually started it back in the UK, 10 years ago. And I was doing predominantly weddings actually in the UK for 3 years. And then when we moved out here, my husband and I found it kind of hard to get into the wedding industry here. It just felt a little more challenging than I was used to. And I started going to networking to start to understand my business and other businesswomen. And I found that a lot of these businesswomen that I would meet at these events, I would get their details, get their Instagram handle, and then I would go home and I would look for them on either their Instagram or their website, and I would say, well, is this the person I met today? Because either there weren't any photographs of them, or they were so outdated that you couldn't tell it was the same person. And so I thought, okay, I think there's something here where maybe these women need a bit of help to feel okay.
I think that it is so important and overlooked, the significance of having a professional photograph or your entire portfolio that personifies who you are, and most of the time people fall short, and everything is on social media and how people get to perceive you. Is that why you came into this line of work?
Yeah, I definitely felt that these women that I was meeting, if I then spoke to them afterwards and I said, we don't really have any photos on there, or I started asking people about kind of brand shoots, and I felt this big resistance of I don't know, I hate having my picture taken, is the number one thing that I hear constantly. And the reasons for that is mixed. It's a combination of people don't maybe think about the value of it from a business point of view. It's very low down. When you start a business, anyone who has started a business knows that your to-do list is just never ending, and quite often photographs can feel not high up on that list. But I think another deeper reason is that people really feel vulnerable in front of a camera. They feel all of their insecurities just come bubbling up, and therefore they will avoid it. They will sort of put it off and put it off. And it's, when I've lost some weight, it's when I've done my roots, it's when I've feel more secure. When I'll do that. And then you build this business that is amazing and really helps people and really can do a lot of good in the world, but it's not taken as seriously as it should be because your images are either grainy selfies or not there at all. So it's an interesting one that I think affects everyone, but definitely I feel women have this whole other layer. Like, I don't want to show up on camera.
I mean, that's such a common thing, right? And so being a weight loss and gut health coach, so many times, like, people say one of their biggest struggles is that they go on these family vacations and they're never in front of the camera. They don't have any family photos. They don't have any pictures with their kids. They're out on this beautiful vacation. They don't want to be in a bikini, and it's like they hide behind the camera. And so I talk to my clients about, I'm like, okay, well then let's set up a photo shoot. And let's make it a goal. Let's do a 3-month or 6-month plan to get you photo shoot ready so that you look and feel your best. And I think more people need to have some kind of, goal, because life is too short to be hidden behind a camera.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, like, we live in such a visual age now.
Totally.
Like, everyone is so, it's very rare to go anywhere or do anything without someone having a camera out, because we're carrying it with us all the time, right? It's not like when I was a kid, you only time you got your picture taken was when someone brought a camera and was like, geez, and you all kind of stood in a line like this. It's not like that.
Yes.
And so there's two sides to this. There's the Instagram, everything is super curated and polished and sometimes very edited and very aspirational to the point where you can't actually reach it, and that gives us more of a complex than we needed. And the other side of it is that there's a lot more candid photographs floating around now than there used to be, and so people sometimes catch sight of themselves in a candid photograph and go, oh God, like, I didn't realise that's what I looked like. And something that I like to say to a lot of people is, that's also not really what you look like though, because cameras, you remember the really old phrase about like cameras add 10 pounds?
Yeah.
That is true in the sense that it can add or it can take away. Cameras can distort, and you have to remember that what someone takes in a 0.00005 of a second is kind of how you looked in that moment, but that's not how other people see you. Because you're in movement, you're fluid, you're in motion. When you're interacting with another person, they're not seeing the tiny frame where you were kind of like double chin hunched over or whatever. They don't see you like that because they see you being dynamic and active and open. So photography is a tool. Like, I think you said, having a goal where you can, you want to get in shape and you want to feel your best, 100% a shoot is a great way to do that. But something I also say to people who want to avoid getting in front of the camera is, like, part of my job as a photographer is to make sure that you
feel comfortable.
Yeah,
totally.
That you feel good and that you feel relaxed, and that I'm asking you to sit in a certain way where you lean slightly closer to the camera so that you're seeing a version of you that's still you, but in a better light than a version of you when you lean away from the camera, which distorts all the bits of you that you don't want distorted.
Yeah, I've done a couple photo shoots, and and I don't know how to pose or what looks best behind the camera, and so when I have a photographer that's like, sit up, chin to the right, all the instructions, it just makes it so much nicer.
Yeah, I used to be so scared to do that. Like, when I started, I was very much
like giving people direction.
Yeah, because I think there's this thing of like, well, I don't want people to think I'm being demanding.
No, that's what we want.
Yeah. And now I am so, I will actually apologise sometimes to clients. I'm like, is this too much? And they're like, no, this is great, because I'll be like, turn your chin a tiny bit this way, put your shoulders back a little bit like this, breathe in, breathe out. And there's a lot of posing and priming, but then I show people, I go in and I say, look at the difference between your shoulders being here versus here. Like, it's such a difference that in your body you're like, oh, surely this looks weird because you're sitting so upright. But in the camera it looks really natural, because this is what we need to do for lenses. People think, oh well, this can't look good because I'm so tense. And in person, it doesn't. Like, if I sit like this, it looks crazy. But to a lens that is only looking at you on one plane in one direction, it looks super relaxed and really natural.
I was going to ask, actually, what's like your best tips for posing, I guess?
So I have a couple, and they're based on the most common things that people are worried about, right? So posture is the biggest one. Everyone, I would say 98% of the people I work with wouldn't like their posture if they're just sat at ease on a lens, right? Because lenses, again, exaggerate.
So let's practice this.
So if you're just sitting relaxed, we're kind of sitting like this, like we're forward. My chin is also a bit relaxed, right? So I'm always like, sit right up, put a tennis ball between your shoulder blades, which can feel a little chesty.
Yeah, tennis ball between your shoulders.
Between your shoulder blades.
Yeah.
And if that's not quite done it, I always, something I say to people, which you have to be careful of, is think pigeon. So you know how pigeons walk?
Yeah.
And backwards and forwards with their head, with their chin. Stick your chin out like it's a pigeon, which feels
super unnatural.
Yeah. And from the side angle, that's not going to look great because you can really see that I'm doing that. From the front, you've taken your chin from this relaxed state to really it defines the jaw.
Interesting.
And that's what people complain about all the time. The number of times I'm like, oh, my chin's, like, I hear people constantly. And I'm like, just trust the process. When you have someone in front of you who's a professional, you can say, stick your chin out further, and I've had people go, oh God, really? Really? And I'm just like, trust me. And then I take the photo and I show them and they go, oh, wow, like, you could never tell that I'm doing that. So those are the ones I'm always think about your posture, put your chin out, and the other rule that people don't realise is that whatever is closest to a lens is magnified. So when you're worried about whatever part of you that you're worried about, push it away from the lens. Lean forward. People have this inherent urge to lean away from a camera, especially when they're intimidated or they feel vulnerable or they feel anxious. They kind of lean away, and it is the worst thing that you could do, because then your hips, your legs, your everything, your stomach is closer because you've leaned your head away, but you haven't leaned the bottom part of you away. So lean in, and that's what's going to be magnified. We want to see your face,
Never thought of these dynamics, and I feel like Sherrie also, no one tells us. I mean, I think probably you're one of the few that actually facilitates and gives this kind of a prep coaching before the photo shoot. But this is what needs to be done more, and you need to connect with someone who you're more comfortable with.
Yes,
you're
so
more aligned, and you're in sync and resonation, and that's when you bring the best out of you.
100%.
Yeah.
If you're not at ease, especially with someone taking your photographs, because like we said, it's quite a vulnerable, kind of intimate experience. If you're not comfortable with that person, it will read.
Yeah.
It's going to be so clear. So a huge part of anyone who is booking a photographer, if you're thinking about a shoot with anyone, have a call, speak to them, read their energy, figure out, like, are you my vibe? Like, are you the kind of person that I could see myself being at ease with, even in a situation that makes me want to hurl? Like most people will say to me when they arrive on a shoot, they're like, I feel unwell. I'm really stressed. So, and then 20 minutes in, they're like, oh, I'm really relaxed. I'm feeling good. So that's what you want.
And so, okay, so you started, so then you came out here, got deeper into photography and deeper into business. What advice would you give for women, especially, I guess, that are looking to maybe jumpstart their career, or, because it's scary being an entrepreneur.
It's so scary. It's so scary. And I've been doing this for 10 years now. So my biggest advice that I always give to people that I wish I'd done earlier is networking. Like, I also believe, especially as women, that we're very good at this. Like, we're so drawn to community, we're so drawn to relying on each other, helping each other. Doing that in a business setting is game changing, because I spent probably 4 or 5 years trying to do everything by myself. And it's not, being self-employed and starting a business is so hard, and there's so much responsibility on you. And your friends are lovely, but if they don't do it, they're not going to understand who you are. Your partner's not going to understand. Having other women who you can just say, oh, like, I don't really understand what I'm doing with automation. Like, I don't know how to schedule my socials. You'll meet someone who goes, I've been where you are, let me help you out.
Yes.
The power in that is just
absolutely,
so strong.
yeah.
So strong.
And Peggy, like, what is the difference, because you were in the UK, and like, what is the change of audience that you find when you are here in UAE and doing your thing?
I think here people definitely will prioritize visuals a little more here. I think there's a good understanding of brand, especially in a personal setting, than in the UK. But something I have noticed is that the common thread is this feeling of women not wanting to step in front of the camera. I photograph women who are just starting their business, and women who have had businesses for 25 years and been in national press. And I've had both of those women go, oh, I don't know if I like how my chin looks, or I don't know how I like. So that is the common thread, even if we might think Dubai is a much more visual place. Women everywhere are definitely feeling this.
And how are you finding clients?
I do a lot of networking. So I go to networking events, I talk to people. I think I'm the kind of person, I'm clearly very like set in my brand. So you either look at that and you talk to me and you go, she's great, or you go, she's absolutely not my cup of tea, which is fine. Like you've got to find the people who are your people. So I do a lot of networking. I'm on socials, I'm on all the socials, and I'm trying to get better at doing my own, trying to practice what I preach and get visible and show up. But yeah, speaking to other people and just offering help where you can is my way of kind of being found, and people recommend it. I'm very, very lucky that I have clients who recommend me, and
word of mouth is really powerful.
And we would like you all to connect with Sherrie. What is the best way to make a booking with you? And
you can get in touch with me. It's quite easy because I'm the same handle everywhere. It's Shots by Sherrie, and SHERRIE, anywhere. I'm on Instagram, I'm TikTok, Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn. shotsbysherrie.com is the website, so I'm lucky with that name. And you can message me anywhere and I'll find it. You can book directly on my website as well, but I'm always happy to have a call first.
We would really want her to be in UAE permanently because I think now it's like we have so many events. We have like a huge, you name it, in every industry. People want to be out there. They want to showcase their events, and they're looking for the photographers who can give them the style, the customized approach that actually helps them bring the best out in the camera or in the video
and tell
footage.
the story. Like so much, especially with events, is storytelling. You want people to look back at it and understand the flow of everything that happened, and people that didn't go, you want them to look and go, I'm coming to that next time. And so finding a photographer that can really give you that energy.
Absolutely.
Do you have some favorite places to shoot around Dubai?
Ooh, it's always really hard. So my thing with Dubai is that it's such a beautiful city and there's so many places, but getting permission to shoot is difficult. You need a permit to shoot anywhere that's owned by anyone. I actually really love working in people's homes. I think there are so many beautiful houses in this place. We're in a gorgeous villa. I've been shooting in a gorgeous villa while I've been here this time around, and people have such incredible light, bright, open spaces at home. If I can utilize that, then I think that's perfect because people are also their most at ease.
Yes, absolutely. So, what do you see yourself doing more, or do you have any like a future plan for the next 1-2 years? Like, I know this is your main prime area of focus, so.
Yeah, I mean, so for me, it's doing more of this. Like, it's getting out and doing a little bit more of the talking, doing workshops. I'm starting to host like confidence workshops. I'm going to start bringing music into that because I love music, and I find that as a really powerful tool to get people to step into a version of themselves. More talks, more presentations. Just get out here and kind of do a little bit of an education piece on this. Doesn't have to be a big scary thing. Photography and getting shoots doesn't have to be this big intimidating process. I can sort of come out here and say, hey, like it's really not that bad. Once you get it, it'll feel gross for like 10 minutes and then you'll love it and you'll want to do it again and again. So getting out and speaking more, I think, is a big part of my growth plan over the next couple of years.
Yes, I can't wait. The singing part looks really nice. How do you plan to fuse that?
So it's going to be utilising playlists and different styles of music to step into a version of yourself that maybe you're not quite ready to be yet. It's a confidence piece. So if you are, let's say you need to put on an outfit to go to an event that you're feeling, I don't know if this suits me, I don't know if I can pull it off. You put on a playlist that makes you feel really like empowered and like you're gonna, like you could walk down RuPaul's Drag Race and win, like you're just feeling really, music does that for me. And then let's say you need to go into a meeting with, say you're a female business owner and you're in a really male dominated industry and you need to go into a meeting with 20 men who you're just think, I'm not going to take you seriously. You put on like a feminine rage playlist beforehand and so you want to kick the door down when you walk into that place.
Sherrie, I really would want to know a little bit more about infusing music into your photography. Please tell me more about that.
Yeah, so part of the kind of workshops that I'm looking to teach would be using different styles of music and different playlists to get yourself into a headspace that allows you to do what you need to do in that moment. So if you're wearing an outfit that you feel self-conscious in but you need to go to an event and you don't have time, you just put on that playlist in the car, you get yourself into a place where you're like, yeah, okay, I'm rocking this outfit, like you feel really good, and that lasts you through and allows you to stand up properly and be tall. if you're having a meeting with loads of, let's say, men for argument's sake, who you think won't take you seriously, you put on a feminine rage playlist where you just want to kick the door down when you go in and you feel really empowered and strong, and like they're not going to mess with you as you carry that energy through. From a photography point of view, I can then utilise that to allow people to feel like, I'm on a shoot, I deserve to be here. I shouldn't feel bad about having my photos taken, because there's a bit of imposter thing there often with people going, who do I think I am? You know, I'm booking a brand shoot. Put the right playlist on beforehand and you won't even question.
Wow.
You will feel like you deserve to be there on that shoot. You'll feel good, you'll stand tall. I just think it's so, so powerful. I love music, so as much as I can give that to people, I will.
Yeah, music plays a huge, fantastic role, and then I can't wait to hear and get to know, and once you're back from the UK, I would love to do a special photo shoot with the whole music thing.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy that we had you here, Sherrie, today.
Thank you so much.
It was an absolute pleasure, and now I'm going to think more mindfully about the postures and the way that we are presenting ourselves in front of the lens, and what are the pros and cons. And then you really did like drop in some really good pieces of advice that everyone can hold on to and look gorgeous in front of the camera.
Yeah, we all deserve to feel that way. We all deserve to walk away from having our picture taken and go, damn, I looked good. Like we all should have a little bit of that with us, because what feeling?
Because there was not a specific quote, but it's like when you're 30 and you don't feel great, when you're 50 and you look back at your photos that you took when you're 30, we might not be feeling like our absolute top peak now, but when we are older, we're going to want to look back and be like, man, I wish I was like back then, right?
Yeah, I mean, we'll do it now. Think about how self-conscious you are as a teenager, or like totally. Your early 20s, and you're like, oh my god, and you criticize
and you look back and you're like,
wow, I did not know what I was missing back then.
Yeah,
I know, to make the best of what we have, and then having the right mentors, to guide you, to coach you, and to make you feel comfortable in your skin, which I think is one of the most challenging things that we are suffering from internally. We are too scared to actually share.
Yes.
So we need people like Sherrie to guide us. And thank you so much, Sherrie. And I look forward to having you next time when you're here in Dubai.
Absolutely.
And please, you need to settle down here.
If you come back, I have so many clients who are like, why did you go? Please come back. But I'm here every 6 months, so I like to kind of rotate. I'm here when the weather's good, and then when it's hot, I'm like, bye.
So her Instagram profile is?
Shots by Sherrie.
All right. And see you next time, guys, and have a great day. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much.